We're so bad that we've had to turn to Cameron. Tory's grassroots verdicts on Sunak's reshuffle. I'm going to read into this exclusive from iNews, guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is REGANELITE here with an exclusive from iNews with the headline that we're so bad that we had to turn to Cameron. Tory grassroots verdicts on Sunak's reshuffle. Loyal Conservative activists also backed Rishi Sunak's decision to sack Suella Braverman as the Home Secretary. So it wasn't that while ago. It was only a few days ago. We had a video. I did a video where exclusive from Sky News revealed more of the so-called some of the right wing of the Conservative Party, not so much Conservative MPs, but more of Conservative members and non-members expressing their anger over the sacking of Suella Braverman. This is a different side of some of the Conservatives, some of the more grassroots in the Conservatives, a different portion of them who are wanting to get their views on what they think and what insight they're thinking of in terms of Cameron's return. And I do think it's important for us to kind of see the fire, the lines in the sands on some of them. I don't know how many names we'll see in the article, but it just goes to show, just once again, to emphasise the point of how divided this Conservative Party is, and it is divided. It is very divided. And the appointment of David Cameron, especially one that was not voted for by us, same as the Prime Minister, we did not vote for Rishi Sunak as Prime Minister back in 2019. It's very important to emphasise that. The British public are not having much of a say whatsoever on the future of the country, which is kind of not fair. So there is a growing deal of anger and a need for a general election much sooner than we think. So, Tory grassroots activists have broadly welcomed the return of David Cameron to frontline politics, and the party shift to the centre-right, but still believe the Conservatives face a tough challenge at the next general election. Local Conservative figures also welcome Rishi Sunak's sacking of Suella Braverman, claiming that her inappropriate language on homelessness and protests did not represent the views of the majority of Tory supporters, despite claims on the contrary from the former Home Secretary. Yeah, there's absolutely, there is some Conservative MPs and some Conservative voters who understand the Home Secretary's point of view, but also are like, there is a line and it's getting too close to that line, if you know what I mean. There is a line and it's getting too close to it. And Suella Braverman went far beyond that line. And we already know they go quite far enough as it is Conservatives with their views and their right wing. But she was like a whole different level to that. And it comes across to me that the vast majority of Conservative supporters and voters just are not on the same level, on the same verdict as Suella Braverman. At least that's what it appears to be. But there we go. The return of the former Prime Minister, who was made a Lord in order to allow him to become Foreign Secretary, was the shock move in Mr Sunak's wide-ranging cabinet reshuffle. Was also included in the appointment of Victoria Atkins as Health Secretary and the sacking of Thérèse Coffey as Environment Secretary. Thérèse Coffey stating that... So there was a story come out that Thérèse Coffey stated that she nearly died due to the stress of the job. And I just want to put this out there because I know some people there's a lot of mockery about it online. If the story is as serious as it is, if you cannot handle the weight of the role of responsibility that you are given, quit the job. Step away. Okay, if you cannot do it, step away. Don't moan after for the sake of it, saying she's stressed and she nearly died from it. I'm sorry, why did you not quit? Why did you not step away if you couldn't handle the role? I'm just going to put that in there. Like, why were you in the role in the first place if you couldn't handle it? You know, it's stressful. Yes, being a cabinet secretary is stressful. Being an MP is stressful. That's what you chose to take on. You could have not taken the role and let someone else handle it. You know, it's not an easy job. Abby Brown, a Tory activist in Stoke-on-Trent and former leader of the local group, said, I'm pleased to see David Cameron coming back into government. For a red wall area like Stoke, and the things that he has talked about are very much in line with our aspirations as a place. On Mrs Braverman's sacking, Mrs Brown said her position had become untenable. I think she oversimplified things and suggested to everybody who lives in a place like Stoke-on-Trent agrees with her characterisation of pro-Palestine protests as hate marches. We didn't win 3 conservative seats around here with views like that. We won them under the centre-right policies of David Cameron and Theresa May. So I believe the changes to the cabinet will maybe get us back on track a little bit. Sean MacDonald, co-chairman of the Worthington West Conservatives, welcomed the return of Lord Cameron after 7 years away from Parliament, but he was uncertain whether it would be enough to turn the government's fortunes around the next general election. I think Cameron's very good, so he may be an asset. I'm not 100% certain, but I think he will be an asset. I think it's going to be a tough election to win. I've been out canvassing this morning, and what I'm finding is that people don't want to vote for anybody at the moment. They don't believe either Tories or Labour are good enough. There's a lot of anger from public voters, from viewers from voters at the moment. Leon Spence, chairman of the Tory Association in North West Leicestershire, added, I think it's an excellent decision to bring David back. He brings gravitas and statesmanship into the government, and I think it's always to be welcome. Mr Spence said Mrs Braverman had to go following her comments around the marches and her wish to find charities for providing tents to the homeless, adding they were a breach of collective responsibility of the cabinet. Yeah, it was like really just kicking people down when they were needed. We've already talked about Suella Braverman, but yeah, it was pretty disgusting remarks, to say the least. One senior grassroots Tory agreed that the party's shift to the centre ground could boost the Conservative chances at the next general election, which is widely expected to take place at some point next year. David Ashton, the former chairman of the Harrow East Conservatives, said, I think it's a bold move and a little surprising, but David Cameron has a lot of experience and I think Rishi could find that helpful. Julian Edicott, chairman of the Surrey Conservative Partnership and a member of the National Party's board, said, I've always been a big fan of David Cameron and to have him back is probably a good thing. However, there was some disappointment in Lord Cameron's appointment from Tory loyalists. Harvey Unwine, the former chairman of the Telford Conservatives, believes the controversy around his lobbying of the government on behalf of the investment from the investment firm Greensfield Capital could taint his return. In 2021, documents suggested Lord Cameron made around $8.2 million jetting around the world to promote his finance business. Before Greensfield collapsed in March 2021, the former Prime Minister had lobbied civil servants as well as Mr Sunak to change the rules to allow Greensfield to join the emergency COVID loan scheme, applying pressure by making phone calls and sending dozens of texts and emails. Criminal inquiries into alleged fraud are ongoing in Germany and Switzerland, where Lex Greensfield has been named as a suspect. Mr Unwin said, I think it's a very odd appointment because he's been out of frontline politics for 7 years. I must be honest, we've got the green cell issue in the background, which could be quite difficult for him going forward. Another Tory activist suggested Lord Cameron's appointment also suggests that Mr Sunak does not think much of the quality of backlash Tory MPs. Matt Stevens, the former chairman of the Hitchpin and Harpington Conservatives, added, what Rishi's saying to us is that amongst the 350 Tory MPs, there's no one with the competence or capability that to do that role. We're that bad that we've had to wind the clock back 7 years. This is exactly what David Lammy said in the Houses of Parliament, kind of throwing it under the, like, instead of picking somebody on the backbenches, they've gone for somebody who's been out of politics for 7 years, and couldn't be more obvious, really. A mixed bag of from some Conservatives. There's some there that's some there who are happy with it. Some are concerned. A mixed bag, I would say. I think it's a mixed bag there of some Conservative MPs on some of the faults, and it'll be interesting to see how it goes forward. Will this, like I said last time when I spoke about this, I do think it will close the gap a little bit. I think people right now, some people are a bit hesitant to give their voices. Polls over time, I think, there will be some sway, perhaps closer to Conservatives than Labour, but we'll have to wait and see. Is this going to be enough to win a general election? I don't think so, as of right now, but things can change, guys, as we know. I have talked and done a lot of videos covering the cabinet reshuffle. This is probably the last one I will talking about it, but yeah, this is. But I wanted to get kind of some Conservative MPs who actually who get some more thoughts on people's thoughts behind the scenes on it. So, what do you guys think of some of the Conservative MPs and their views on the appointment of David Cameron? Are you still have your views at all changed since his arrival? Do you still think it's all about just scamming, potentially, allegedly, more money out of taxpayers' money? Is that really what it's all about? Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below and what you guys think of David Cameron. Hit the like button, share across social media, would be greatly appreciated. And if you hit that bell notification icon, you'll be notified of when I upload another video. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.